Down through the ages, humanity have often imagined their gods as terrible judges or great warriors or kings, but who would have thought of a God who cries? Today, in our series of Walking with Jesus, we're going to see the best picture we have of God as one who, in his compassion, cries over this world. Even as Christians, we can sometimes think of God as a fierce judge who's saying, you've got to do this or else. But when we look at Jesus, that's not the image that we see of God in judgment. When he's looking out over Jerusalem, knowing that they are rejecting him, that one day the whole place is going to be destroyed, he cries over it. On that day, on Palm Sunday, when they're all putting their branches down in front of that donkey he's riding on, in the midst of it all, he's crying. And he says about Jerusalem, "Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how often I have longed to gather you, as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you would not come to me." And here is the picture of God, a God of compassion, a God who's not vindictive in judgment, who's not thinking, you didn't follow me, you got to be punished, but one who's holding out his hands saying, I long for you to come to me, but you won't come. The judgment was being brought upon them by themselves, by their rejection of him, and they're going for instead a war with Rome that would destroy Jerusalem. And in the same way, we see Jesus crying at the tomb of Lazarus, his friend. He had waited a few days when he heard that Lazarus was ill. And when he arrived, he's already been in the tomb for 3 or 4 days. And he sees all the people weeping, and Lazarus' sisters come to him and say, if only you had been here, our brother would not have died. And Jesus cries with them. A God who weeps. The Bible says he was deeply moved, and the word means even moved to anger. Seeing his world destroyed and the people that he loved subject to pain and suffering and death, it moves God to anger and to sadness, to sorrow and grief. And yeah, he weeps. The best picture we have of God is Jesus. And we see a God who cries with us, who is in the pain and the sorrow with us. That is God's compassion for each and every one of us. And of course, he went on to raise Lazarus from the dead. He is the answer to all suffering and pain. And ultimately, he is the resurrection and the life. May God bless you.